country, but you know, what better person to celebrate on Memorial Day than someone who has lived a life of sacrifice for others, right? And that's what's characterized her life, has been her generosity and sacrifice for others. So we're going to start out with just a few announcements, and then my daughter Hannah is going to pray for our food and for our time together. But a couple reminders. The photographs on the table, the loose ones, are very precious to Auntie Susan. So she asked graciously that you would be very careful with those photographs and not spill anything on them. And after we get started for the next hour or so, we'd like to invite you to come up to this table and pick up one of these forms. And this is a way in which you can write down some of your thoughts for Grandma, circle some words on this page that are characteristics, attributes that she possesses. I guess after 100 years, she probably has most of them. And there's a lot here to choose from. So just pick out the top 5 things that really represent who Grandma is to you as a family member or a friend. Take the next hour to do that as you socialize and enjoy some food. So we'll get started in a minute with a word of prayer, but this is a really special time for our family. You know, ever since I got into this family about 17 or 18 years ago, you know, we've had this thing in our family where we come up from Seattle, and Colleen has always said, you know, Grandma's getting up there a little bit. This is back, she was only in her early 80s back then. And she would always say, Grandma's getting up there a bit, and we really always made it down here around this time of year, her birthday, Memorial Day, because you never know how many years Grandma might have left. And here we are, 18 years into that annual pilgrimage. And pretty soon she's going to be saying, Andy and Colleen, they're getting up a little bit. John Carroll could, you never know how many times we might get to see Andy and Colleen because they're getting up there. So we better go up to Seattle. And you're just amazing. You'll probably bury all of us. And be the last one standing the way you're going. So hope you feel blessed and celebrated today.
I do.
Look at all these people. Look at your legacy. Isn't this fantastic?
It certainly is.
Yeah. So Hannah, would you pray for us, and then people can enjoy some food and some fellowship, and again take the time to come up and fill out one of these forms, and then we'll spend some time before we have birthday cake to tell Grandma what she means to us individually. Okay.
Dear Lord Jesus, I pray for Grandma Day. I pray that she has the best birthday ever, and I pray for all the people that could come today, that the food will bless our bodies, and that as everybody goes their separate way today, that we can all stay safe and can all have time with our families and fellowship with each other. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Good job, Hannah. Thank you very much. Enjoy some food. Continue to fellowship, and then we'll come back around in about an hour and share some thoughts with Grandma. Okay, that window is passed. So Grandma, I'm just going to share a memory. Colleen's going to talk about some things, but for those of you that don't know, one of our adventures I guess my word for you is adventurous. You get to be 100, you've had a lot of adventures in life. I remember you talking about going to a speakeasy when you were a girl of 17 during the Prohibition. Was anyone else around during the Prohibition and old enough to go to a speakeasy? No. The things that you get to experience when you're 100, but one of our great adventures with you was when you came to England with me and Colleen when you were almost 88. And Colleen said, hey, Grandma's always wanted to go back to Europe and she's never done it, and why don't we take her? And I said, she's 87, you know.
That's what I thought too. We've argued over that.
We've argued over the math.
It's 89, isn't it?
Late 80s, anyway. And you know, whenever we talk about what was our most favorite vacation ever and our most favorite trip ever, and we always instantly say it was that trip with you to England. You just made it so wonderful for us. And it was a fabulous time, and you made it special. So you're an adventurous person. So I'm going to turn it over to my wife. Oh, Hannah wants to say some things first. Okay.
She has a word she wants to share.
My word for Grandma is helpful because whenever she comes over to our house, she always wants to do the dishes. And the last time she came, my mom bought paper plates and everything so that she wouldn't have to do it.
Thank goodness for paper. Are you done, sweetie? Okay, thank you for sharing that. Okay, Grandma, wow. I might not be able to look at you when I say these things because I might get kind of teary. Grandma's been my buddy. You've done a lot. I'm so thankful that I get to celebrate you today and that you're here and that we're not in heaven celebrating. But we'll do that too. So I kind of lost my place, so hold on a second here. So there's just a little tidbit out of Colossians that I wanted to share with you because it reminds me of you. Because I believe that you live out of who God says that you are. I know that you love God, and I know that that's what gives you the strength. And we've talked about that a lot. And I believe that you have been strengthened with all power, as it talks about in Colossians 1, according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience, and joyfully give thanks to the Father. And I think I see you doing that so much, and I just want to be like you in those areas. You've lost your sons. I know. You've lost 2 grandchildren. Or a grandchild and a great-grandchild. So you've endured much, and you're patient with us. Your family is full of life and drama, and you're very patient with us. And you do things so joyfully, Grandma. You know, you really do. You really exude who Jesus is to me. Well, good. Tears of joy are a good thing. But anyway, I didn't even get to my affirmation tool, and I've thought about Proverbs 31 as well, because in Proverbs it talks about the wife and the mother of noble character. And someone told me that this particular passage is a culmination of different people, that no one person could be this person, which kind of relieved me. But Grandma, you do exude so many of these things that it's amazing to me. And the things that really stuck out at the end of Proverbs 31 is, well, first I have a funny. So it says, when it snows, she has no fear for her household. That came in handy this last winter, I heard, when you were snowed in and had no electricity. And that shows me a lot of adventure, that you could do that at 100. That would kind of scare me. But you're clothed with strength and dignity. You can laugh at the days to come, and you have a great sense of humor. You speak with wisdom, and you have faithful instruction on your tongue. You watch over the affairs of your household, and you do not eat the bread of idleness. Her children, all of us, in different forms, arise and call you blessed. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. Not in your case, but for most of us. But a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. And that's what we're praising, is the way that you live the Lord. So, anyway, my affirming tool, though, I had my top 5. Number 1 was faithful. And you are a very faithful person. And we, Grandpa, was not an easy person to live with. And you were just awesome. You were just awesome. I can still hear him say this, and I know all of you guys can remember this. Ani! From down there. and you just served him like with such grace. And you know, he's a great guy. You know, he's a great guy. And I think when you first met Andy, you said, Andy asked you, you know, what do you describe Grandpa to me? And you said, well, he was a rascal, but I really loved him. So, anyway, that's awesome. And we could probably all say that about our husbands. Sorry, but rascal's a good thing. That's fun. Okay, so generous is the second thing. Generous. And everyone, probably in this room, has been touched by your generosity, Grandma. From the quarters you used to give us every time we saw you, we thought we were rich, to the annuity you saved. You worked hard at the clinic for how many years? 25 years at the clinic, and she would save for all of her grandchildren. And I think when Steve and Mike and I decided to go to Europe, there was about, what, $400 in that account for each of us? Was it 2,000? Yeah, I mean, it was just unbelievable. And it was a little clinic job, you know, a little, like the, you know, records keeping and stuff. I mean, it was a hard working job, and she was just very diligent with her finances. And so she blessed all of her grandchildren, and then later she blessed us again when she could, and it's just always generous, Grandma, always. And then adventurous, we covered that, right? I know I'm kind of being long-winded. That runs in the family too, by the way. Loving. And this, the memory that I remember, I mean, there's numerous memories. Grandma and I were roommates when Grandpa had his stroke. I mean, just the loving. I was in my senior year, and Grandma and I were roommates, and just, it was, you know, we've just done a lot together. So, anyway, loving, though, I remember this vividly. I was about Hannah's age, about 9, and I was almost taller than you. And I was hugging you out at Uncle Bill's house, out in where the pool is there. And I was hugging you, and I thought, I feel so safe. You always made me feel so safe. And then I thought, gosh, I'm going to be taller than this lady, and she still makes me feel safe. And and then humble. And, you know, you're gentle, Grandma. You never want attention for yourself. I want to be just like you. I love you.
Thank you very much. So we'd like to open this up for those of you that would care to speak from the podium here. By the way, there'll be no speech from the birthday girl herself. She has chosen to keep her comments personal. While the first person, and by the way, if anyone else wants to speak for about 10% of the time that Colleen did, that would be great. We can have cake. And she spoke for most people here. While the first person is thinking about getting up the courage to come up and share from the microphone. I thought it would be appropriate to acknowledge the daughters of the birthday girl who worked so hard to put this. Let's just give thanks to Annie, Susan, and my mother-in-law. Annie, Susan to me, you know.
That's right.
Susan Hosford and Carol Fletcher, the daughters of the birthday girl. It's been a labor of love to put this together. I know that others have helped too, but the two of you in particular, especially with broken hands and graduations going on this week at the same time. Congratulations, Christina. Well done, and all of you graduates here. It's obviously been a busy time, but what a great day, and worth it, right? So, and I could keep talking until the first person just steps right up and decides to share a few words from their sheet. As soon as you're tired of me talking, then Fledge. Yeah. My father-in-law, John Fletcher, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Be careful what you say.
Be very careful.
Well, the first thing, Grandma was born in 1911. 1911. What day? Too many fingers to count. Yeah. Anyway, I want to thank you for all coming to see her celebration. It was, everybody came from, you know, and had to make a sacrifice to do that. I would say that most of the dog ate my homework. But I don't, you know, Ruby eats all kinds of paper. So, but I don't have to have a sheet to know how good she is. She's really been incredible. The last 10 years, we've been very close. She's stayed in our home. And I retired her from doing dishes.
Just the other day.
Yeah, just the other day. I figured Carol's not going to do them. So I guess, you know, I'm the last one left. And so I'm doing most of the cooking and the cleaning and and so I've never worked so hard in my life. Most of the things that are on the sheet are considered the fruits of the Spirit. Yeah, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and godliness, and self-control, something that I've never been able to master, self-control. However, I've had a good example of self-control because she's really quite good as far as that's concerned, you know, over the years. So I just want to thank everyone that's come, and I want to also thank her for her beautiful life. From the Spirit of St. Louis, sitting in the Spirit of St. Louis, the plane, and that's a story in and of itself. Many of you already heard. Uncle Al, the kitty's pal, went ahead and bribed a security guard to get her into the Spirit of St. Louis. And when she was 17 years old, she sat in the plane. And she went into the Smithsonian, which is where it's now housed at the Smithsonian. And she looked up and she was there and she said, "I've sat in that plane." And people looked at her and said, "What are you talking about, lady?" And Lucky Lindy had her as a crush as well. You know, Lucky Lindy, he was somebody that she liked looking
She
at.
wanted to see him, not the plane.
Yes, that's right.
But she missed him.
So thanks again. I just will turn it back over to Andy, and hopefully somebody else will come and speak shorter than I did.
Thanks, Fletch. One of a kind. My father-in-law, it's been a pleasure. So while the next person is thinking about coming up, here she comes. You'll have to introduce yourself. Now, Grandma, you remember when you turned 95? That would be 5 years ago for those of you that are not math whizzes. We took that walk around big trees. You made it all the way around, didn't you? It was a mile. And we were talking, you sort of lost a little bit of weight. We were talking about your diet. You were supposed to gain 1 pound a year so that you would get back to 100 by 100. Right? So didn't work. Okay. All right. Well, 110 by 110? Is that
Yeah, let's try that.
105 by 105? Okay, well, we'll work on that.
Hi, my name's Jessie Tennis, and I'm a neighbor to Sue. Been neighbors for over 20 years, and I have seen this lady in and out so much. And every time I see her, the most word I can think of her would be inspiration. She inspires me so much. I've had 9 back surgeries, and I keep thinking, oh my God, how did she do it? How did she do it? How does she keep going so much? But you know, she's a sweet, sweet, lovely lady. She has a sweet family that I've met. And I think all the family that's here should be so, so proud of this lady. Because she's the sweetest lady that I know.
Thank you very much. How about someone from the next generation? Do we go?
Back to the future. There we go. Here we go, Jeremy.
Jeremy. Good to see you, man. I think it was the 90th birthday, wasn't it?
I think, yeah. I've had about 2 iced teas, so I think I got the courage to come. When you guys play these videos back, I want you to know that the camera adds 10 pounds. And there's 2 cameras on me. So I've told everybody I know that today I'm going to go visit my great-grandmother who turns 100 today. And everybody I know is just amazed by it. They say, really, 100 years old? Is she as tall as you? No, she's not even close. But some things that I want you to know that I live about 1.5 hours away, and if you ever feel like doing dishes, if you need that, no, I'm just kidding. To think of some of the stuff that has happened in your lifetime amazes me. It absolutely amazes me. To be standing with somebody who lived through World War I, it's just, I can't believe that actually happens. And, you know, with my stress and red meat, there's no way I'm going to make it. So, so I just want you to know that the one word that I think about is amazed. You absolutely amaze me. Thanks, Jeremy. Anyone else have any words for their amazing grandma, great-grandma, aunt, friend, Sarah Michelle? One from the great-grandchild generation. Tell us who you are.
I'm her great-granddaughter. And I don't really have anything to say. I just wanted to say that I love you, and yeah.
Give her a hug. Thank you, Sarah. Any other great-grandchildren out there? Joel, you always have something to say. Come on, Joel. Nothing positive. Something positive for my brother-in-law, Joel Fletcher.
Hold on, let me think of something.
It's about grandma.
Yeah, it's about grandma,
Oh,
right?
that's easy then. I don't know. We have so many memories. There's been so much time with you. When you came to live with us after Grandpa fell ill, the fact that you were there every day with him in that convalescent hospital. You were so dedicated, and you've always been so dedicated to us. And I mean, through all of our troubles, you've always been there. You've helped me numerous times. I can't tell you. I would not be able to be here talking to you now had it not been for the help that you've given me over the past 36 years. It's absolutely amazing. Without you, you're an absolutely noble and brilliant woman. And look what you've created, what you've done. This is absolutely fantastic. I am in awe. I hope to be at least a fraction of your brilliance. I look forward to it. Thank you.
A fraction of your, and that's coming from one of the more brilliant people in the room. Joel Fletcher, thank you very much. Okay. We've got time for maybe one or two more before we do some cake. Or if you're ready for cake, we can do cake, but it looks like someone's getting the itch here. Introduce yourself. And
I'm Chantel. This is my great-grandmother, Dave. And I just wanted to, I also chose inspiring as my first word because every time I see you, you still have a big smile. You're there and you're socializing, and it's great. So thank you for being such an inspiring, beautiful woman, and I love you very much.
Christine, did you get most inspirational in your high school yearbook in 1929? Were you Miss Inspirational? I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were. Okay. The new graduate soccer star is going to say a few words here.
Hi, I'm Christina, and this is my grandma. And she's my role model in every way. She does the crossword puzzles in the morning, and I look at them and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is this word? And she's just like, oh, it's this. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it fits. And I took a government class, and I still don't understand our system, and yet my grandma watches the news 24/7, and so whenever I have a question about Obama or anything like this, I go, Grandma, so what is he talking about? And she's just so intelligent, and I just hope that when I get older that I'm as intelligent as her, so she's my role model.
My name is Bailey, and I'm her great-granddaughter, and I just want to say she's the most amazing person in the world because she's 100. I love you, Grandma.
Thanks, Bailey. 100 is pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Even to you.
Hello, my name is Sean, and I'm an alcoholic. Yes. I live in New Mexico, and when I was coming out here, I was telling many of my co-workers and friends that I was coming out to Grandma's 100th birthday. and they were amazed. And that's good and bad news. Good news is she's old. I got that longevity in me. Bad news, my wife's got to put up with me longer. There you have it. But one of the better stories that I tell them is, if you ever tell her your birthday, I guarantee you she will know your birthday. The woman is amazing. And you remember everybody's birthday. Met my wife once, Sandy, and the second time she came back, now your birthday is on July 14th. How'd she do that? I can't remember her birthday. But intelligence is just putting it lightly with her. She's just so extremely intelligent, so vibrant. And it's just been such a wonderful feeling, growing up and having you in my life and in my family's life. I just love you. And I'm waiting on.
Thanks, Sean. There's always one that has to do the I'm an alcoholic thing. Just get past it. So he's from New Mexico. Let's see who's the furthest traveled here today. Anyone further than New Mexico?
I would say English. English.
We've got some Europeans here. So my lovely cousin Anne, who met Grandma 8 years ago, and her boyfriend Philippe from France. So actually, that might even be further. So I think Philippe is the furthest traveled. So congratulations. You get the centerpiece from the table to take home. Something like that. Sandy.
Thank you for inviting me today. Oh, it's Grandma's birthday. Happy birthday, Grandma. When I moved from New York City after marrying Lauren's dad, I was adopted by this amazing family. So you kind of got stuck with me as another daughter. Well, thank you. But Colleen obviously adopted me and kind of took me home to Carol. And I've been your sister ever since. So, but it's been such a pleasure to be part of your life. And I can't tell you how through being here and, maturing as a woman and having my own family, how much you've meant to me. And I also, as your granddaughter said, you've been my role model in many ways, and especially wanting to know how to fight that anti-aging thing. It's a big deal. Everybody in this room. And one thing that you said to me when I asked you maybe 5 years ago, you said to me that you walked and walked every day. You did. You walked and when you were living in San Andreas, you walked to work and back and to the market and back. So that is such a great thing for everyone to know, that you just keep walking. Just keep walking. Walking is good for you. Everybody walk, Grandma says. So we'll get out there and walk and think of Grandma Day and walk and have better health, right? Well, congratulations. You've earned every year, it's just amazing what you've lived through and how wise you are and how you've been able to share that wisdom with all of us. And my word of the 5 words, it's loving for Grandma. And fun loving too, because we've had so much fun, big fun, haven't we? So with that, I'll pass the mic to my daughter, Lauren.
Happy birthday, Grandma. Thanks so much for this whole party. This is wonderful. And a couple of my friends also have a birthday today, and I told them that I was fortunate enough to be coming to your party, and this is just such a wonderful celebration. And every time I can come over and visit with you at the house, because luckily I live close by in Bear Valley, I'm so excited to get to spend time with you, because you're such a special woman. And the twinkle in your eye is just so beautiful, and you just have a presence that's just so special and so wonderful and healing. So I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and I'm gonna cry here. It's just so amazing to see your faith with a higher power. And, you know, one of the words I picked was faithful. And I really know that that is a huge part of why you're here today, is because of the Lord and because of your prayer every day. And, you know, recently I've gotten a lot more in touch with God. And I hope that I can have strong faith like you for the rest of my life, because I really think it makes it a huge difference in every day. So I pray all the time, and I know you do too. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much for everything. I love you. Love you, Grandma.
Okay, you're getting me. Imagine everyone naked. Okay. Public speaking tips 101, you know. Never mind. We've got time for maybe one more, or in their underwear. Okay. Yeah. Still bad. We've got time maybe for one more before. Anyone ready for cake? Anyone kind of feeling that cake urge yet?
Of course, we have to call the fire department, though.
The Modesto Fire Department has been informed, yes,
Yes.
for the 100 candles. By the way, Grandma Day has a Facebook page, so you can all friend her on Facebook. And I don't know if she's the oldest, but certainly it's going to be right up there. But you can post your notes to her on Facebook as well. And that picture of her is with 99 candles on one cake. So today we have 25 on each to make it easier on the Modesto Fire Department. So if there's anyone else that would like to say a final word other than Mariah, that may not go so well. You want to sing now? You ready to sing? You want to tell Grandma something? No? Okay, we're going to be shy again. So, well, let's wrap this up, and we're going to light the candles now. That's cue for whoever's lighting the candles.
Blow torch.
I've tap danced enough to where anyone, while they're lighting candles, there's still time for any last words.
Joel's got a reminder.
Because this could take a while. Are there any